Good afternoon, Boiler Room. On your screens and in your face as only I can be. I am the King of Paradise. I am joined with the one and only Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker and the manager of champions. So, ladies and gentlemen, a lot to talk about. We're coming back from the last podcast we had was we were about to go to River City Wrestling Con. We are coming back. We're going to recap it a little bit. I'm going to tell you all, I had the time of my life down there. Out of everything I witnessed, man, the time sitting right next to this man right here was the most memorable memories I've ever had when it came to the wrestling business. The interactions, the fan base, it was really big. It was really glorious to see, especially after a year of COVID. So I have to tell you all, if you guys missed it, you missed one hell of a show.
Yes, you did.
Start to finish. Tonight we are on two different cameras, so if you hear us bicker back and forth in the boiler room, it's because we're taking takes on the other camera for the actual podcast that goes on YouTube. So bear with us, enjoy the behind the scenes like you've never seen before. We have a live signing tonight from Sarge himself. So one lucky person who's a part of the raffle for a Sergeant Slaughter 8x10 and the 8x10 of Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker.
Yep.
We will be doing that. Uh-oh. I have to pick up a couple now. But they're all in here with the exception of 4 of them. So with that being said, let me get those back in there. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Eric Nelson.
Well, let's see, recap from River City Wrestling Con. First and foremost, Nick and Sam Batey. Man, 2 thumbs up, guys. What do y'all say?
Yeah.
The gentleman who put that together for us, that invited us down there, showed us such a good time. Nick and Sam Batey, man, we cannot wait to do some more business with you. We will see you in Atlanta at MomoCon. We will also be returning for River City 3, June the 11th of 2022, right after MomoCon. So big things happening. Stranglehold going on a tour in 2022. I am working on securing some other deals. Orlando, Florida's a possibility. There's even a deal in Michigan that I'm looking at. And of course, there's a couple towns in South Carolina that are on the radar. As these situations develop, you will all be first to know. Well, you guys will be first to know. Then we'll tell them.
Well, we'll tell them.
Right.
Nice.
So we celebrated the birthday of champions at River City Wrestling Con. I turned 46.
57.
57.
Yeah, 57, 55, one of them. Anyway, we all know I'm immortal, so it's great. You know, I am the immortal manager of champions. We've established that. Birthday dinner with Sergeant Slaughter. Thank you for being there.
Absolutely.
Sorry you missed it. But thank
Yeah,
you for being there.
I had some car trouble, guys, so
that was very
I
memorable.
got there at the end.
We had some good conversations with the icon himself, did we not?
Absolutely, man. It was incredible. I'm going to tell you my biggest takeaway from all of the River City Wrestling thing was the fact that when you grow up, you see wrestlers such as Sarge here, such as Sergeant Slaughter, Hulk Hogan, you name it. They're superheroes to us when we're children.
Absolutely.
I've mentioned time in and time out, I grew up in a really small town. We didn't have a lot of things to do, but watching wrestling was definitely on the menu.
Oh, yes.
And you guys made dreams reality through telling a story that looked like violence. And I'm telling you, to see the fact that these people actually have souls that are not related to the character you see behind the character, it is 100% incredible. The dinner with Sergeant Slaughter, I ate dinner with a real life G.I. Joe.
Absolutely, the only living G.I. Joe.
He told us stories.
Well, technically 2 G.I. Joes, because I mean,
right.
Yeah.
But he told us stories that he probably shouldn't have told. And with that being said, I mean, it's memories that I'll never forget. But like I said, my favorite time was being right beside this man right here.
We saw a lot of great people down there.
We sure did. And I'm actually going to turn it over to you, man, because my takeaway after seeing after what I said about them not being superheroes all the time, I watched interactions between this man and Ron Simmons, this man and Mick Foley, this man and Lex Luger. I watched the humanization take place in every one of their eyes the moment they saw this man right here.
And not to mention Kevin Sullivan coming from across the room.
Yes, Kevin Sullivan, the Rock and Roll Express. I mean, they had everybody there at that convention. It was pretty awesome.
Not to mention two guys that are hot on the indie scene right now. I do want to touch on this. Enzo and Cass, one of the hottest tag teams out there in wrestling today, made a point to come over to meet you, both you and Sarge Slaughter.
Right.
It's like, wow, you know, it was like watching them be kids.
Right.
It was like them looking at their superheroes.
Now, real quick, I have to tell you, we witnessed history because the first time you actually met Sergeant Slaughter was at this convention.
Absolutely, man, that was a moment in time.
You both shared the name Sergeant, and you guys could go back and forth about who stole whose gimmick or his name or whatever. But I'm telling you, a smile came across his face the moment he shook your hand.
Absolutely.
Yes, he did.
And I had actually talked to you before about you were afraid you were going to mark out. At dinner, he goes, I don't know how I'll act because I've never met the guy, but he's responsible for so many legends in our sport.
Well, thank you.
So,
And he did voice to me after we left the convention that that was one of his highlights was meeting you for the very first time.
Wow. What an honor.
I mean, hey, best birthday I've ever had. Hey, all around, man. I mean, you know, our first time on the road together, that's memorable in itself, but wow.
Absolutely.
Watching you and the Queen just go full blast. You know, everybody coming to the table to interact and shake hands and tell
The
stories.
lines were unbelievable.
Oh my God, the line was wrapped around the building.
In fact, we
Our
walked
table.
right past the huge line going to Mick, and well, I wrestled him as Cactus Jack. So
And our line was one of the longest as well. And I was very grateful for that experience of a lifetime. One of the best shows that I've done in 25 years.
And if you hadn't bought anything or anything, a hat or a poster or anything that he was involved in, you sure missed out. So I would get in touch with both these guys if they still got stuff. I
have
encourage
a very
you to reach
limited
out.
amount of 8x10s left. I have one Sergeant Slaughter campaign cover left. Only one. And whoever meets the price will get it. We obviously have one in the studio that ain't going nowhere. You want to zoom in on that, cameraman?
Sorry guys, you guys can't see it. We're kind of posted here.
Yeah, sorry, you'll get it post-production. Not to mention the limited edition Sergeant Slaughter shirt that he signed too. We do have some shirts available for any of those who would like also a limited edition piece of history. I'll tell you something else from a military standpoint. I did want to touch on this real quick. Sorry to steal thunder.
No. Military
Jacksonville, Florida was one of my past duty stations. I hadn't been to Jacksonville, Florida in 22 years prior to that day. So my oldest child was a year old when I was wearing a uniform. Anyway, there were many service members that approached the bench to meet these two gentlemen. You know, Sergeant Slaughter and Sergeant Buddy Parker, and one female Navy dispersing clerk. This really touched me. I almost cried myself when she got her Sergeant Slaughter picture signed and he endorsed it to her. Took a picture with her. She was crying.
Yeah.
She said, "This is the greatest day of my life. I've met the guy who inspired me to enlist."
Well, that's
And of course, from one sailor to another, that kind of moved me because I'm like, I'm glad I can make this sailor's life happy, you know, because it's been over 5 years since I took up the mantle of the United States sailor myself, and be able to help another sailor achieve a dream was, well, that was also a highlight. And seeing the faces on the military personnel that, you know, came to this table. And if some of you don't know this story, Stranglehold is the first ever veteran-founded company in wrestling. 2 Navy, 2 Army, 1 Air Force, who is no longer with us, fortunately. But anyway, that was a very moving moment. The birthday, I mean, everything, golly, I mean, mind-blowing. mind blowing. The whole thing, the whole team, just how well everything went.
Now, real quick, I want to touch base right there because you said the whole team. If you showed up and you were a part of the Stranglehold team, from everybody here, sincerely thank you.
Thank you.
Whether you were at the table, walking around, greeting people, helping out, handing people stuff, taking pictures, sincerely thank you for being there. We had the Warzone champion there. We had Chris Whaley. What an honor that was
yes.
to meet
Pastor,
him.
thank you for coming again. Pastor has a new book out called Mr. President. I will be having a hardback in my hand. We may raffle that in a future podcast. And it's something that he's also working getting adapted to a movie. So his first movie, Masked Saint, was a huge success. It was the last film appearance of Roddy Piper. Harold's Heavenly Christmas, his second book, just made it as a Hallmark movie.
Nice.
You know, if y'all like that sort of thing.
Right.
Now my wife does.
My wife does too.
Hallmark movies, you know.
And I can't touch it.
But I've read the book. The book was a very moving, very heartfelt piece, and also Mr. President. Wow. I cannot wait to see that being made to me. By the way, I'm available for audition, Pastor, if you got an extra spot for me in that movie. I would love to be a member of the cabinet, especially Secretary of Defense. I loved how that was written. Man, I just can't say enough good about that. I do want to touch on one little thing. The indie wrestlers. One of the most successful people I saw at that convention was Ray Fury.
Man, he had an aura around it. Everywhere he went, man, he lit everything.
He's one of the best in business. If you guys, all you indie wrestlers out there that want to be the next big thing, you need to take a page out of that man's book. You need to learn how to market yourself. Because I saw he did really well. Scott Marshall, I'm also very proud of. I've watched him grow up in this business. I remember when he was just a skinny kid, you know, in Fort Valley, Georgia, you know, making his way into the business. Now he's, you know, he's making his way around. He's a success. And I'm very happy that I know that young man. Wow, just so much.
Yeah, it was a lot to take in, and I'm just grateful that I was a big part of being there and getting to see everybody again for I hadn't seen in 15, 20 years, you know. So
And we're definitely glad you made it. Like I told you, conventions are awesome.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
You know, conventions are where it's at anymore. The dynamic of this business has changed significantly.
And I was on the phone last night with Brian Clark.
Oh yes, Adam.
2 hours. Yeah, I trained him also. A lot of people don't know that, as well as many other people. So yeah, it's good.
I loved him, man. I thought he was an awesome wrestler. Great
Well,
time.
Ox Baker was the first one that I guess showed him how to lock up, but then it came down to the power plant.
The deadliest heel in wrestling.
So, I gotta tell you, one of my takeaways, you know, I've been to wrestling events. I've been to several WCW, several WWE. I missed the ECW, but I've been in several indie wrestling shows. And I gotta tell you, the conventions, you don't realize how big these people are until you see them at a convention. Kane was there.
Yes.
Kane walked by, and I did not have a chance to meet him. I wish I would have.
But he was just so in demand, it was hard to get to him, right?
Absolutely.
Sorry, he'll be with us next year at MomoCon.
He sure will. But a takeaway I took from him, now I told you guys on this podcast that I had nightmares of Kane when I was a kid, like because he was so real to me. But when he walked by, his arms were bigger than my head.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
He looked like a tree.
He
I
sure
mean,
did.
tall. Well, I mean, it's unbelievable.
But with that being said, Sarge, let's get some of your thoughts from the convention.
Oh, yeah,
Let's talk about, like, you got in there, you started seeing people you used to work with that you had road trips with.
Right.
That you shared locker rooms with, rings
absolutely,
with,
man.
matches.
Yeah. Traveled with. I traveled with Ron and Butch Reed. God bless his soul.
Yeah.
A lot. Of course, Teddy Long was there. I got to tell you all a little funny moment. This is back in the past, but we were at a house show, and Teddy did this big speech, so he goes to go out. He thought it was going to be a door going back into the Civic Center. He actually walked outside and got locked out. And we laughed. Oh my gosh, it's like a running joke, right? So, yeah, he liked to forget that one, but yeah, we still laugh about it. Me and Ron laughed about it down at Jacksonville. So, yeah.
Now, Ron Simmons, ultra nice guy, man. You introduced me. Man, he commented on the work that I did on the belt. He said it was really nice. Signed it. He said it was, I mean, the compliments were through the roof coming from him. Ultra nice guy, man. So friendly. So friendly.
Everybody should already know his background. So, I mean, football. And
plus, he's from my hometown. That's where legends are truly born. I mean, what can I say?
Now listen, my dad's a 100% diehard FSU fan. And he might not know who Ron Simmons, the wrestler, is, but he knows who Ron Simmons, the football player, is.
Yeah.
And
well, matter of fact, The Rock comes from Miami too.
Right.
So.
It's crazy how people would just, you know, they just go different ways in life than what they expected, but they all lead their ways back to our hearts and our.
And Brian was at Seminoles. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's right, he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm thinking if we could ever.
It's amazing how the past comes back to visit you again.
Absolutely.
You know, once you're there, and you go, wow.
I do want to touch on this a little bit. So, after talking with Nick and Sam after the event, kind of giving them our perspective, or at least, you know, what I knew of. River City 3 is already featuring Diamond Dallas Page. They are doing a WCW-esque reunion type convention. So, I've been talking to one of your students as well, Kid Romeo. I want to give you a shout out, man. You were great. Thank you. Thank you for everything and all your support as well.
Thank you for showing up, by the way.
Oh, man, that was beautiful. I'm glad I finally got to meet you.
Let's just stop right there for a second, right? He shows up as humble as a humble person can be.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
He walks up, he shakes everybody's hands. He goes, "Hey, have you seen Sarge?" And I was like, "I haven't heard from him, but he'll be here, man. I know Sarge. He'll be here. If he says he'll be here, he'll be here." For 25 minutes, he sat there and told us stories about how great you were to him, about how much he admired you. And the entire time he talked to me, he never once mentioned he was Kid Romeo.
Yeah.
Not once.
Well, he's doing a lot of squats, believe me.
But,
he do squats.
He did tell me that you made Hindu squats his favorite.
Yeah.
So I seriously sat there for 25, 30 minutes. I was probably there 2 hours before I realized who he was. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know who Kid Romeo is, he is one of the only WCW Cruiserweight Tag Champions in history. Himself and Elite Skipper beat the Filthy Animals, which was Rey Mysterio, Billy Kidman, to win the WCW Cruiserweight Tag titles.
And Elite Skipper's from the power plant as well. I mean, there's so many stars that come out there. It's just unbelievable.
And Elite, I'm looking forward to meeting you soon, my man.
But yeah, it was so cool for me.
I'll call you Elite.
It was so cool for me to sit there and like for him to tell the stories, and then I was like, "Should you tell us one bad thing, Sarge?" And he goes, "I can never do it, man. I can never do it because there wasn't one bad thing he ever did." He said you called him some funny names occasionally, but
yeah, he's had a few nicknames.
No,
yeah,
not Sarge.
But we don't have to go there.
No.
But listen, Sam, sincerely, it was an honor for me to meet you. It was an honor for Eric.
It's good to see you again, my brother.
I spoke to you a few
Promo
times.
was great.
He's agreed to be a part of the Boiler Rooms behind the voice. I'm not sure when it's going to happen. He's going to be put in touch with Landfill, and Landfill will get that scheduled away. Also, just another announcement. I talked to Sarge just a few moments ago. He agreed to be part of Behind the Voice. So Landfill, if you're watching, if you happen to see it soon, he'll be in touch with you soon too. We'll get it set up. It's something you can do like from the comfort of your own home, just using your phone. Probably my favorite show that we have in these groups.
We forgot about Alan Funk.
Hey,
he was trying to make it there. Wasn't able to make it, but you know, he's a very good guy. And
Hold on one second.
well,
Ladies and
I'll be
gentlemen.
honest, everybody from the power plant.
Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Kid Romeo.
Hey man, what are you doing? Don't say nothing bad. We're on a live podcast.
Sarge and Buddy Lee Parker.
What are
my
you-
maker, my mentor, my idol.
You've been too gracious right now, but I appreciate it a lot. You know, you mean a lot to me.
I owe a lot to you, Sarge, how I grew up from being in my early 20s. I know you're 70 now, you don't remember.
Whatever.
I heard he was 85. I'm not going to tell anybody.
No, don't tell anybody.
So
It's good to see you down there, man.
Oh God, yes.
You know, it was great to see you, and we're going to get together very soon. And hopefully all of us can get together. Alan, Elix, all the guys, Mike Sanders, I don't know about, but he's a little bit off the deep end right now.
Above average Mike Sanders?
Yes,
He's pretty quiet nowadays.
yes, he is.
He's quiet.
He should be.
Alan just got a promo for me for my business, and so you all, as Angry Alan Funk, not Wee Wee.
Yes. Well, he was always better at Anger Allen.
That's
But-
much better. I don't want him doing a promo as Wee Wee. So
No. I'm trying to let that die for him, you know. So, but it keeps getting brought up. So.
Yeah, I know, but he didn't got the hair to stand up everything, so that he's out of character. So he had to go with Angry Alan.
Hey man, I'm in quite a few magazines with all you guys, you know.
Hey, Sarge, you know what I would ask you, man? Send me anything that I might be in, please. Because, you know, in our times we didn't have so whoever took pictures, I never really answered.
Well,
so.
you know, I got pictures.
TV.
I got pictures from video games that we made, and just a lot of magazines.
You load the shit of them on the storylines, I know. Is there any
You got your work cut out.
Trust me, they run daily. If you can find anything of me through your scraps and stuff like that, you know,
Oh, yeah.
power plant stuff.
I'll send it to you tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, anything that I might be in, that'd be nice memories. I don't have a lot from the power plant.
You still got your Japan magazines,
Gentlemen,
right?
we just had a question come in. Brandon Sager says, "What was the moment you knew you wanted to work in professional wrestling?" Kid Romeo, you want to lead off on that?
What's the question again?
What was the moment in time, or excuse me, what was the moment you knew you wanted to work in professional wrestling?
When I didn't have a job and I went to the show and I saw Ray, I saw Chavo, I saw Eddie, and being that I was at the front seat rows on Universal Studios when they used to do Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Once I saw that you didn't have to be 7 foot tall anymore, and those guys are doing it, I said to myself, I can do this.
Yeah.
So then I waited outside and talked to all the wrestlers, and they told me, everybody told me about the squats. That was the first thing everybody told me. High voltage. Remember high voltage?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I had good
Kenny
times.
Chaos and
They told me about Sarge. They told me you need to be ready to do all these squats, so they run you off. You know that stuff. They told me I had a good look. I said, I'm in. I need a job. So I trained for 6 months, and I do 100 between sets of everything, and running out suicide sprints in the Orlando Heat. And then I went up there and got beat up by Sarge for three
okay, our
days.
production guy's gonna have to bleep a lot out here. So
A lot of clown horns and old car.
Well, Sarge,
well, you know, only the ones that made it to 3 days, you know, they're the ones that made it being stars, and you were one of them, man. So, and I knew from after the second day you had the heart for it, you know. Just like Alan, just like Mike, and all them guys I trained, you know. So
yeah, all the guys that you got in their face and that just stand there with you and kept squatting and everything, they all made it. All the ones that
y'all did do the dying cockroach gimmick.
They never made it.
You didn't do the dying cockroach gimmick,
No,
right?
I was just gonna say that, man. You freaking beat me to the punch. I said, no, we didn't do the dying cockroach, sir. Hell no.
And then we kind of got on everybody after they did it, right?
Oh, dude, you know what though, Sarge? You know what the worst thing about that we didn't have smartphones in 2099.
I know, right?
No.
Oh my God, we would have so much freaking cool vintage
Oh.
footage.
I still got a lot on
Nobody would
that I'm
come
switching over to
camera,
DVD.
take pictures.
Well, let me pause real quick. Sarge, what about you? I would ask Sarge this question. What was the moment that you decided you want to be a professional wrestler?
Well, actually, my grandfather, they used to do, NWA used to do Griffin, Georgia in the afternoons and do the Omni at night. And I got to wrestle in the Omni, and I just got to be, I can't tell you what a pleasure that was.
I can imagine.
And I've got called in for several people who couldn't make it, and I had to, one time I was wrestling Cactus Jack. I flew in to Chicago, and I actually had to change. I had to get a van. And I actually changed in my, I ain't gonna say gimmick, but Buddy Lee Parker thing, and threw my bag against the wall and went straight to the ring. And we just ad-lib it, man. The best things come ad-lib. I don't know how the guys remember.
Ad-libbing a lot of times is better than planning everything 100%. You have.
Well, I can't remember all that stuff, you know. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, some of the best stuff I've ever accomplished has been the same way you guys did it, you know.
Right.
You gotta memorize everything that these spots go on for so long. It's a memorization thing.
Right.
So,
and you know, doing it 1,000 times, you know, then, you know, so many times it's just like repetitious, right? So you just did it by instinct.
You know the dance. You go to city. Once you want each other's dance, you're good to go.
Absolutely. Kid, I want to ask.
Sarge, tell them about the leprechaun, man.
Leprechaun's dead.
Right?
But yeah, it died, but it's still hanging up in my closet with all my other stuff.
Well, good. Don't ever come out of the closet, Sarge.
I'll get you back for that one, buddy.
So, kid, I want to ask you a quick question on what your opinion, Sarge. We've talked about this a little bit. We here at Stranglehold are working on doing a documentary on the power plant and why it was successful. What do you think?
I love it, man. Sarge is the reason the power plant was successful. You know, we had other trainers in there, but they, you know, they come in and throw their 2 cents. You know, had nothing against all of them, and then they go back to the office. Sarge is the only one that sat there and drilled us, and got on our case, and made us what we were. It wasn't all the other, I don't know, bigger names or whatever. It was Sarge and Buddy Lee Parker.
Yeah, speaking of the bigger names in the power plant, Paul Orndorff, we send our prayers to the family and to him as well.
He was awesome and stuff like that, but yeah, he had his moments. He was bipolar up and down and everything.
Oh yes, that is very true. Paul's one of those bipolar people I've ever met.
I still love him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to miss our trips to the barbecue restaurant in Griffin and our hunting and fishing trips. I'm definitely going to miss that.
Sarge, remember when he used to pose because, you know, he tore his arm and everything?
Yes, yes. He tore that ligament and never got it fixed.
His underwear on, and he'd be flexing. What do you guys think, man? I still look good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a trip though, right? I mean,
that sounds like Paul.
Don't drop the F-bomb no more, please. Don't drop the F-bomb no more, please. But yeah,
so many clown horns.
you know, I don't know if you remember, but the power plant was actually in 3 different places. I actually trained Dallas. Well, I trained Kevin Nash down in Jonesboro. It moved, from Lovejoy, Georgia, and then it moved to Jonesboro, Georgia, then it moved over.
Where was it when I was in? I don't even know what
That was off Carroll Drive. Remember that dump? Well, it wasn't a dump.
that was better when we got. I think when we got fancier, I think it changed and everything. I love the old.
Yeah, and I gotta say this: when we got moved over to the new facility, Paul got on me about y'all, and I was like, "Well, they're getting paid, man. You just need to find them." I mean, you know, me and him had arguments, and me and Medusa got into it because she's trying to train them girls to drop kick and stuff. And
I remember that.
Yeah, and that's not the thing to show them with all them fake things. Yeah. So,
well, kid, appreciate you taking a few minutes. I know you've had a long day.
Hey, listen.
Real quick.
Hey, if we can get it set up, man, where we can do a live podcast with you one day, if you have time and willing, we can get you one where you can share the screen with you, man, and just let you tell some stories, man. That'd be epic if you're into it.
Okay.
He's up to it.
Yeah, we'll just sign off, of course.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Sounds
man.
good. We'll get that worked out, and you heard it here first, folks. Pretty soon live with Kid Romeo right here on the Stranglehold podcast.
Thank you, sir. We
All
appreciate
right,
you.
everybody.
All right, Kid Romeo, I appreciate it.
Love you, Sarge.
Love you too, man.
Yep, we love you, brother.
How much stuff did you pull out of somebody's yard today?
I actually pulled a copperhead and three family raccoons, and then I killed some roaches.
Yeah.
Wow.
All I got today. All I got.
Today's work.
No alligators, huh?
No gators today, no.
Yeah. You had a better day than me. All I got was a bunch of rats today.
Hey, the rats are a lot of money, man.
That's true. You're right about that now.
Exclusion's where the money's at.
Yep, you're right.
So, all right, buddy. 10-4, Kid Romeo out.
See you, bro.
See you, bro.
Later, guys.
Later.
So if you guys don't know, Kid Romeo, which I'm sure you guys are going to see an epic commercial somewhere along here. He owns his own pest control business now. And
Yeah,
he's
wildlife business.
wildlife.
Which I also do that as well.
But his gimmick is commando.
Yes.
He dresses the part, he wears the gimmick, and 100% he looks like a commando.
Hey, didn't his buddy he had there look like his son?
Absolutely.
That is his son.
I mean, I thought it was his son.
That is his son.
Wasn't his son?
No,
Is
I
it?
don't think
No?
it was.
Okay.
I joked
I thought
like
it was his son.
I mean, I thought they looked alike.
Yeah.
But they both 100% fit the gimmick, man. You can't.
Oh yeah, that was a nice promo.
And they got trucks go with it,
Right.
everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I saw him pull up in that truck. I'm like, wow, look at this.
Yeah.
So they're down in South Florida. If you happen to be in South Florida, and-
He's in Orlando.
The Orlando area, yes.
All right. So if you guys happen to be watching from there,
Commando Pest Control, y'all, and that commercial will be in the post-production version of this podcast. And there's a special guest also in that commercial. We don't want to spoil it yet.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. 3 numbers, starts with a 6, ends with 9.
Well,
You'll
yeah.
see it.
Right.
Anyways, tune in for that. Let's go back to Sarge, man. Let's
Yeah,
go
let's
back
do
to your
that.
thoughts on the convention, man. A lot of people came up to you. A lot of people said hello. What was your best takeaway? What was your best memory of there?
Well, the fans, of course. Without the fans, we would never be. None of us would be anything. Thank you, fans, for watching
Yes, thank you.
and following everybody through the years. Whether you watched me or just watched NWA, that's where I started at. My first match was with the Iron Sheik.
Oh my gosh.
At the OTBS studio, and they didn't care about guys in. He hit me with a flagpole. I had a welt across my back for about 2 weeks. Of course, I wrestled everybody. I mean, everybody's been in business except for Sergeant Slaughter, of course. It was an honor to be there. It was great to see everybody again. Like I said, some of them guys I hadn't seen in 20 years, you know. Except for Ricky and Robert, but yeah, it was. I mean, it was just mind blowing. The fans turning out like that, and the hot building.
That was one of the hottest crowds I've ever seen. That's
Yeah.
how much God's truth.
Yeah, and thank y'all everybody that showed up there. Thank you
Thank y'all.
sincerely.
Yeah,
We're coming back.
Yes,
so.
we will. We will be in Jacksonville next year.
If anybody has pictures from the event, please share them with one of us.
Definitely.
We
please.
would love to see it. I've seen a lot of hashtags on Facebook, a lot of hashtags on Instagram. Obviously, we don't have them all, but if you guys happen to have any, share them. Would love to see it. Love to put it together like a collage or maybe a short video or something, helping to highlight it. Obviously, our hands were full at the event, so we couldn't take a lot of
God, yes.
pictures.
I mean, the whole
but,
team.
Absolutely.
Oh man.
The
So
whole team.
We would love to see it. It's memories that I want to cherish. I'm gonna say for the rest of my life, man. Again, it was such an awesome turnout.
And hey, it's just getting started for you, brother.
Absolutely, I hope that's the case.
It's gonna be the case.
Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta tell you, Jacksonville, man. I lived there when I was a kid. Jacksonville has not changed a whole lot from what I remember. Still a nice little city.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a 2-day town, that's for sure.
No, and I've wrestled there. That I can't remember what the name of the building was, and I did Nitro there. in between, before I was coming up, I just walked around the city, you know, just taking everything in, you know, grabbing a cup of coffee, you know. I drink a lot of coffee then, still do probably. So yeah, my wife's kind of on me.
And what's your favorite coffee right now?
Here we go.
Pete's coffee.
Which brand? Which version is that?
I think I gave him some samples of Major Dickinson.
Major Dixon.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's my favorite. Pete's brand.
That's my wife's favorite now too.
I'm glad to hear that. That's what samples are for, man. Get people hooked and make them want more. But Jacksonville, man, absolutely beautiful. Me and my wife, we toured, like, we went walking, I don't know, we walked everywhere, and it was absolutely amazing. Really hot at night, though, but other than that, I mean, it was really cool. It was very laid back.
I drove up from Ormond Beach, by the way, and we take a vacation there every year. And
I found a nice little hideaway there, too, the Middle Beach going towards St. Augustine. Oh, man, I enjoyed that.
And we go on the St. Augustine tour through the city, the architecture, you know, the castle, all that. You know, we about do that every year. So
now, when we go back, that's definitely going to be something on our list. We were just trying to get as much done as possible in such a little amount of time.
I've actually done the backstage tour at NASA.
Oh my goodness!
Down off what is it?
That's Cape Canaveral. Canaveral, yes.
Yes.
They had an awesome simulator when I went. That was 13 years ago, I guess.
And anybody's clear near Huntsville, Alabama, you know, go visit there too.
Right. Oh, definitely. I went to the Aviation Challengers and Space Camp there when I was about 12.
Really?
Old man thought I needed some discipline, so he sent me there.
What was that? About 50 years ago?
So what's that make you, 8? I mean,
Pretty much. Pretty much. Hey, you can see we like to rib each other.
Oh yeah,
so.
ribbons approved.
Well, this is a big part of the wrestling business too. That was a huge deal at both companies, you know. So.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Sarge, I got a question for you, man. Again, from Big River, Brandon Seeger. He wants to know if there was ever a time in your wrestling career if you ever got starstruck by somebody you were wrestling.
I'm gonna say yeah, especially when I first started out, you know, because I was just Dwayne Bruce then, you know, wore short tights and patent leather boots and all that stuff. Yeah, I was stargazed. I mean, you know, somebody that's watched the wrestling business as long as I have. When my grandfather took me down and started watching, of course you're gonna be starstruck. So. Yeah, I was, and then I got over it, man. And I always think my biggest accomplishment was able to be able to work with anybody big and anybody small. I worked with Chavo, you know, Eddie, Dave Taylor, Fit Finley. I mean, the list goes on and on of people that are known to be, let's say, a little stiff, but that's right where I fit in too. So yeah. Pretty awesome.
I want to ask you, man. Starrcade was WCW's WrestleMania. I love Starrcade.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely love Starrcade. Did you have a chance to compete there?
Yes, and I got competed at a lot of big pay-per-views. You know, what was that one they had out? Phoenix, me and Dale Weasing was doing State Patrol, and Mr. Hughes wrestled Ricky Morton, Tommy Rich, and his Junkyard Dog in a 6-man tag team match for the belts. You know, so that was, and walking that long,
right?
Man, it was long, you know, and then you had to go through. They had 3 rings set up, so because a big battle royal was at the end, 3-ring battle royals. So
like the World War III type thing.
Yes.
So
I wrestled there too.
So, did you have a chance to compete at Sturgis? Like when you guys did?
When Kevin Sullivan and Jimmy Hart come up with my deal, then it was a Leprechaun. Okay, and I was kind of nervous because I had to wrestle at Sturgis. You know, bikers everywhere. You know, I was nervous. You know, am I going to start a riot?
Right.
But as soon as I came out and started beating the heck out of people, man, they cheered. I was like so relieved.
Do you have an Eddie story?
Eddie story? Yeah, you know, Eddie, God bless his soul, man, I miss him so much. I've wrestled him so many times, him and Ray and all them guys, you know, that was in the luchador part of things, and I was just blessed to be in the ring with him. That's, I mean, I think the Lord gave me a gift, so so I didn't take it for granted. I just went out and worked hard as I could every night.
And honestly, to God be the glory on everything you've accomplished, man, and everything that we accomplish now. When people put over my work, this is the first thing I say, to God be the glory. And I say that because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have the gift to make things special.
And still, of course,
you gotta get
my all-time favorite.
You gotta get in touch with him, and these guys are both very talented. If you could see his wall right now, maybe they can get a post-production of his wall. If anybody wants top quality belts made, this is the place to buy it. So
right over here.
Right here.
Oh, and of course,
you guys are putting me over too much. I appreciate that.
The special edition Sarge belt, one of a kind.
Real quick, the guy behind the screen here that is asking the questions, I want to put him over for a second.
Sure.
I called him Big River because he competes in the VOH, which is part of the Wrestling Boiler Room. If you guys aren't a part of that page, you're missing out because they do a lot of good things. Brandon actually hosts the Pop every Thursday night.
And you don't mean soda.
I don't mean soda. I believe it comes on at 8 o'clock our time, Eastern Standard. But he also helps produce other people's shows. And whenever you do Behind the Voice, it's going to be this guy that you communicate with. He's going to be doing all the comments and all that stuff coming up.
I like him already, I tell you.
He is a super nice guy. He gets a little bit forbidden from time to time. But sincerely, one of the nicest guys I ever met. Internet-wise and person-wise, it doesn't matter. Sincerely, he is a great person. He's a huge wrestling fan.
Yes. Thank you.
So sincerely, man, I look forward to the time you get to bring him on screen with you and see what you guys can accomplish, because there's something about Brandon that just has an aura about him that just captivates an audience. So, Brandon, thank you for everything you do, man.
Thank you.
For the Wrestling Boiler Room.
And of course, this is why I support you guys as well. You guys want to go ahead and do the drawing?
Yeah, about that, I think that's why Brandon's tuned in, man. I'm sure he's got other things going on. Listen,
oh yeah, and we're about to sign this live on.
Let me grab the solder thing.
You don't mind? Yeah, you're okay.
All right, so we reached 900 members on the Wrestling Boiler Room page. It's a milestone. I have told you guys time in and time out, every time it comes up. When I created the page, I expected 30 people. I expected to be 3 people I invited. I expected to be a few of my friends. And I expected to just die off at 30. I never ever expected to have an audience. I never expected to have a membership ever reach 50. Sincerely thank you guys for all that you do for the page, for sharing the content, for the way you guys interact with things on the page. Sincerely thank you. So for the 900 member giveaway, a one-of-a-kind, limited edition Sergeant Slaughter signed at River City Wrestling Con.
That's right.
This was the most interaction we had with a giveaway since the page has started. I've given away t-shirts, I've given away decals, I've given away all kinds of stuff. But this is the most sought-after giveaway we've had, the most interactions. So sincerely, somebody's going to get this. Also, because there was so much participation, and I thought it was only right, and I want to give more of these away because we have a whole stack of them, and I feel like more people need to have memorabilia.
And that's a limited edition
of Sarge.
That was
thank you.
That was created by Luke Thompson Designs, by the way. Luke, if you're watching, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, whoever wins this is going to get it addressed to them live on screen which is it could be the very first time it's ever happened.
I think so.
Especially with us. But sincerely, you guys are going to get something truly special. This is one of my favorite ones that I have. And I'm going to get him to sign a couple more for me. But anyway, so we had 48 participants, which is actually about double what we usually get. So that is awesome. Anyways, they're all chopped up in there. So I'm going to shake it up. I can't tell you guys enough how much of a pain in the tush it was to get these cut out.
Wherever there's hard work, there's a little pain involved.
Oh yeah.
So my oldest daughter just happens to be over here. I'm going to get her to come in. And honey, if you would, just pick one of these.
That's great.
Come on in, Georgia.
Now she's my favorite person to watch wrestling with. Just get one though, just get one.
She needs to get. Yeah, come on and get in the picture. They can't see it.
All right, we have it. It is number 24. I don't know who 24 is, but I'll find out real quick. And we're gonna get this signed to you right away.
She's being shy, huh?
She is definitely camera shy, but she's.
I got her on
TikTok.
this one.
Good.
Let's see here. Let me get to the Wrestling Boiler Room page. It is pinned to the top, so it should be easy.
Thank you for everybody tuning in
Yes,
to the
thank
show.
all your participation and
Because there's a lot of work going on here.
absolutely. That's only just beginning.
Oh yeah.
All right. Number 24 is Eric Finch. So, Eric Finch, congratulations. I'm going to get Sarge to go ahead and sign this. If you'll sign it to Eric, of course, your signature. I will.
I like him already.
It's spelled the exact same way as Mr. Manager of Champions over there, E-R-I-C. And Eric Finch, if you would, send me your address, and I'll get these mailed out to you. E-R-I-C.
Oh.
Hey, yo,
All right.
Captain Law.
Awesome. Hey, yo. What's happening, Captain Law? How are you, man? All right, Eric, you have got a one-of-a-kind, limited edition. This is my favorite pose, man.
Mine too.
You can tell from that.
Yeah.
Um,
That's great.
This is what I remember him doing.
I was
when I
glad to
watched
have a
it.
hand in that.
Yes, I'm so honored.
All right, so
The owner
again,
definitely are, sir.
these will be shipped out to you tomorrow via USPS.
Congratulations. Thank you for your support.
Absolutely. All right, well, that being said, we've got to take a commercial break on the other one, so let's go ahead and get that taken care of.
Booyaka, Rey Mysterio. If you need us, we're right there for you. Remember, CommandoPestControl.com, 407-415-4909. Write that down, 407-415-4909. Sam, Kid Romeo. Big shout out to WCW Undisputed Champions of Pest Control. Booyaka. 619.
How was wrestling today when you first came on? Real quick. To that last
What was
question.
it?
How do you feel about today's product in comparison to when you started?
Well, you know, I don't watch it much.
In my day, we had everything was so just off the cuff, you know. Today, I think everything's so much like a movie. It's for me, it's hard to watch. I'm friends with a lot of people, you know. In fact, I get friend requests all the time. You know, I can't say I'm not a fan because recently things are changed for me. So I am a big fan of all the products now, no matter who they be, and I'm thankful to be in the wrestling business. I'm very humbled to be here.
So you said you don't watch a lot of today's product, but you still like it. Did you happen to catch Hell in a Cell this past weekend?
No, I didn't.
Right. So there was one match that almost made me a fan of the product again. And it was Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre.
Is that where they shoot it from the studio and they got the TV part of it?
Yes.
I did catch that
Yes.
part, yeah.
Alright, so I say they, Bobby Lashley took a kendo stick and beat the daylights out of Drew McIntyre, man.
And they're both huge guys.
Massive guys, and he swung for the fences. And when Drew got up, man, you could see lash marks on his back.
Oh, I've been kendo stick by Abdul the Butcher.
Oh my goodness. More power to you. Talk about one of the
I
most
do not envy
ruthless.
you on that, sir.
Yeah.
Can you like go and just tell us, man, what it feels like when one of those connects with the skin?
Oh, well, I can tell you, it stings right from, I mean, just, I don't know, you know, being that Abdullah did it to me, you know, and we, you know, there was nothing, you know, done in the back. He just did it, you know, so everything stung. And I did have webs for quite a while, so yeah.
What's it like waking up the next
Lethal
day?
Lottery, that's what it was.
Lethal Lottery. That sounds like an awesome match to watch.
Yes, and I actually teamed up with Cactus Jack then, and we went against Steamboat and who's the guy that did the army type deal? Chad? I don't know, I can't remember. Had a lot of blows to my head, guys. You have to forgive me. Yeah, Todd Champion. That's it, Todd Champion. And I did the crawl in the desert all the way down through to the walkway. I mean, he beat me up in the dressing room. He beat me up outside. He threw me off the off the ramp. And then when I finally made it to the ring, Cactus grabs me, hip tosses me in the ring, and then Steamboat comes off the crossbody. So, yeah, that was a highlight that I cherish, you know. I think Steamboat's still doing okay. I know he had a couple health issues, so praying for him and praying for Paul, praying for a lot of guys, you know. Our buddy Demolition.
Yeah, from what I've heard, he's doing better. I will be. Matter of fact, hold that thought. I'm glad you brought him up.
There's a lot of hopes that he gets better by December. A lot of hopes, especially for us.
Right. Believe me, we're sending our prayers out to everybody.
Absolutely.
I can't get to the phone right now, so just leave a message and I'll call you back.
He's probably resting, but I'll be. What I understand, the gathering that's coming up in Charlotte, he's supposed to be there. I'll be checking with him later, and I'll have an update on that for everybody.
Yes.
So
big part of the wrestling business, you know.
Oh, hands down.
I mean, he was a spoiler at one time.
He was a spoiler. He was one of the Mongols.
Yeah.
He was a mass superstar.
Big mass superstar. That was the. I mean, him and Dusty Rhodes.
Oh yeah.
God bless his soul. I mean, when he had him in the claw in the shoulder, and Dusty bled and all that.
Yeah,
I remember that was yesterday.
Up until recently, Long and Barry Darsow, they were the longest reigning WWE Tag Champions in history up until recently with New Day.
Right. Yeah, that's true too.
So Sarge, I want to touch base a little bit more on your career, man. You had an awesome career of making other people look fantastic. You were so good at selling, man, and
Thank you.
We had actually spoke many times about me. It's one of my favorite stories that you ever told me.
Oh yeah, the toughest guy between.
If you ever go to YouTube, watch this, because if you didn't fight him, you got beat up.
As a matter of fact, we will add that match at the end of this podcast.
Oh, that's cool.
So, with all the guys you wrestled, you took a lot of finishes.
Yes.
What was your favorite one to take, and what was your worst one to take, or your most?
Well, my most dangerous was probably Scott Steiner picked me up, and we did a suplex into a power bomb. Thank God she had big legs, and I grabbed them. I had some great matches in Japan. I mean, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Terry Gordy. God bless them both. You know, I got to tag with them a lot. Stan Hansen got us over there, so, you know, he don't do anything unless he thinks you can tote the mail. So I was very blessed to be part of that. And then I made 4 video games with EA Sports in Vancouver. I made it basically students out of my school. And then at the end, they sent me Bill, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Conan. I can't comment on that. But.
Now, I like Conan's character on when he was doing the Wolfpack.
Yeah, that was okay.
He was so good on the mic for what he was, and I don't mean that like being mean or anything.
No.
But for a guy who
well, he's
was,
part of the Dungeon of Doom.
Right.
Yeah.
But it seemed like they were very limited of him using the mic for a long time.
Right.
And then he got in the Wolfpack, and he just opened up, man. He had, everywhere you went, if he came out, like everybody would say exactly what he said. And he was yes, absolutely. And he was a huge star huge star in Mexico. He was a AAA champion while he wrestled for WCW. Mike Tenay always put him over.
Yes.
And
thank you, Mike. Thank you, Jim Ross. Everybody involved, you know, Tony Schiavone, Dusty Rhodes, all them guys, even though the match might not be going my way, they always gave me great props. And, you know, and always with the State Patrol, you know. I don't know if everybody knows this, but truly we drove to Alberta, Canada, up to the Hearts, and that's where the State Patrol came from. And everything was real. You couldn't do that now, I don't think. But we actually went up there, believe it or not, and Davey Boyd, God bless him, broke Bruce Hart's jaw on the road. And
oh yeah, I remember you telling me that story.
Yeah, and then we went out and wrestled, and poor guys. Anyway, went out and wrestled, and then next match they put the tag team belts on us. We gave it back to them because we done been by and checked on everything. Figured we'd be broke in a couple of weeks, so then they promised to pay us in Canadian money, but you know, back then it was like less than half. So we drove back to Atlanta. We drove there, had 2 matches, and drove back in less than a week. And then we just picked it up right from there. The WCW, which we created, the State Patrol deal, and we wrestled in Japan as State Patrol. I think Eric Bischoff had some words for Dale, and he didn't like it, so he quit. And I talked to him coming back, and then he quit again. So, hey Dale, hey, if you're out there or you ever see this, I wish you all the best. And thank you for all the tag team moments we had over the years.
Give us a call if you feel so inclined. We would love to hear your perspective too. Gentlemen, will we reconvene next week?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
hope y'all enjoyed the show.
One last announcement. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Myself and the King of Paradise will be at Smith's Old Bar tomorrow at 5 p.m. For the Jeff Hardy meet and greet. So we will be there at 5 p.m. Come out and meet Jeff Hardy. I hear he's quite a talented musician as well. From what I'm understanding about this, he will be giving us a sample of his music tomorrow. So Smith's Old Bar in Atlanta. Thursday, June 24th, which is tomorrow, 5 p.m. Y'all be there.
And kids are welcome. Kids are welcome during the concert, before the concert. It's just normal business hours. It's 21 and up. But tomorrow, all guests are welcome, children included, which, of course, like if it's anything wrestling related, it should always be that way. So
Agreed.
Don't be afraid to bring your kids, get some autographs.
one of the things I stole from EA is rated E for everyone.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And of course, if you see us there, stop by, say hello.
I'm sure you have a story to say about me too.
We'll have some fun.
Yeah, I think next week we should ask you about that story with the Hardy brothers coming into.
So tune in next week and we will talk about Sarge and the Hardys.
All right, we'll see you guys soon.
Love you guys.
Wrestling Boiler Room, thank you guys for your patience and going through this, man. Thank you sincerely. Eric Finch, congratulations on the...
Heartfelt congratulations.
Yes.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you for watching.
I hope that we can do more of these in the future. It was a huge success. Sincerely, we're close to 1,000 members. So
if we hit that 1,000, we'll do this again.
It ain't if, it's when.
Right, that's right.
Really.
Yeah, when we hit 1,000, we will do this again. We will have some more cool prizes.
Thank you guys for all that you guys do. Sincerely for supporting all the people on the page. I know promos aren't for everybody, but it's a way for them to share their hearts and their soul with you guys. A lot of people in the wrestling business was gifted by the man above with size, with talent, with abilities, speed that a lot of other folks, like your everyday folks, doesn't have.
I've seen 380-pound guys do stuff off the top rope. So
oh yeah.
Bam Bam included.
Big Show.
Vader.
Well, Big Show, I trained him. Vader was, oh my gosh.
Are you the one that told him to stop doing the moonsault?
Well, I'll tell you a story. I actually did an independent show, and after this, I would never get anybody booked. I booked him. I went and picked him up because he was super talented, and believe it or not, he kept saying as we were going down the center stage, "What if I get Vader? What if I get Vader?" I said, "Sir, I mean, what are the chances you're going to get Vader?" And Lord enough, he got Vader and he got his neck broke. So I hope he's doing well, and nothing can undo your neck getting broke. So I wish him all the best. That's a long time ago.
Listen, Sarge, it's been an honor, man, having you here.
Thank you.
Sincerely.
It's been my honor.
I hope next week, I think the Lord blesses us with another day to do another show. I am truly blessed to call you my friend. Blessed to know you guys, and sincerely, I enjoy every time this happens.
Right back
man.
at you, bro. I tell you all the time, I don't know what I'd do without you guys.
So
everything's all mutual here, so you know.
But we'll see you next week when we pick up with Sarge and the Hardys.
And send us some questions. We love answering questions.
Yeah, do that.